What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk about whether or not I think you should be buying copper or stacking copper end of 2023 going into 2024. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for a bunch of videos. Subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for bonus videos. Get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. Try out some G Fuel energy formula, $5 off your first order by clicking the link in the description. And of course, make sure to go and get your up to 12 free fractional shares by downloading Webull and funding your account. If you refer one friend, they're going to give you and the person that you referred each a free 20 bonus stocks. And if you refer 10 people, I know it sounds like a lot, but if you know 10 people, click the little invite button, send it to 10 people that you know. It's quite literally that simple. They're going to give you either $1,200 or $2,500 of free Apple stock, which you can keep and hold on to, or you can sell and buy something that you'd rather have instead, like potentially copper. All right, so all the links will be in the description. Today, I wanted to talk about copper, the beautiful, beautiful red metal. You can see right here that we have a nice little selection. We have a couple little copper rounds. We have the copper Jersey Devil, which if you watched my Halloween videos, I mentioned this a couple of times. Lon sent this to me. Thank you, Lon, for sending this my way. I appreciate it. We have copper pennies. We have a 2-ounce copper bullet. We have a regular copper round, which resembles a giant penny. And we have the copper American Eagle. It's not an actual coin, it's a round, but it has the beautiful eagle on it, so I like to call this the copper eagle. So when it comes to copper, whether it's pure copper or 95% copper coins like pre-1982 pennies, 1-cent pieces minted prior to 1982 are 95% copper. And in 1982, you have about a 50-50 chance of whether or not the penny is copper or not. You'd have to weigh it to figure it out, but anything minted after 82, it is not 95% copper. But copper, not only is it a beautiful metal, I would say it's an absolutely gorgeous metal. The red metal that no one really talks about all that much. It's not a precious metal. It's an industrial metal. It's weighed differently. Silver and gold, for example, you weigh those by the troy ounce. Copper, it's not a precious metal. It's an industrial metal, so it's weighed by a regular ounce. And if you were to collect about 95% copper pennies, that would weigh about an ounce of copper, to put that into perspective for you. Now, copper is really cheap. It's not even really sold by the ounce, unless, of course, you're going for a round or a bar. It's typically sold by the pound, and you can get a pound of copper for really just a couple of dollars. And if you were to take a 95% copper penny, like what we have right here, I'll use this one as an example. What year is this? 1979. It's probably not going to be in perfect focus, but this is a 1979 copper penny. It's 95% copper, and due to the fact that it is primarily made up of copper, and copper really only being a couple dollars a pound right now, this copper penny, which ordinarily at a store or in the minds of most people is only worth 1 cent, because that's what it says, it's a 1-cent piece, it's actually worth 2 to maybe even 3 cents due to the copper that it contains, because copper is worth more than currency. Same thing goes for silver, by the way. A 90% silver quarter, or a pre-1965 silver quarter, it's not worth 25 cents, it's worth almost $4 because of the silver that it contains. It contains 1/6 of a troy ounce of silver. Well, very similar can be said about the way copper works, or copper pennies, I should say. Currency value, 1 cent. Real money value, intrinsic value, for a copper penny, 2, maybe 3 cents. Call it 2.5 cents. Or even if we want to lowball it and call it 2 cents, let's just say it's 2 cents. Every copper penny you have is worth twice as much as what it's perceived to be worth. Just think about that for a second. Pretty interesting. So when it comes to copper, there are pros and cons. Do I think that we should be buying it, purchasing it, converting our dollars into it? Hard no. No, absolutely not. I do not think you should be spending currency. I do not think you should be trading dollars for copper. If you have the ability to find copper for free, if you or someone you know is a plumber or an electrician, for example, easy to find scrap copper. Copper pennies are another good example. When you have loose change, go through them. If you see something that's 1982 or older, set it aside. Especially if it's 1981 or older. You know for an absolute fact that it is a copper penny. And the 1982s, set those aside. I actually keep those in a separate bag. You see that I have this big bag of copper pennies? Well, I have a bag of copper pennies inside the bag of copper pennies because these are all the 1982s. I have to weigh these and figure out whether or not these are actually 95% copper or not. If not, they're as good as garbage to me. But if they are copper, so you might be thinking to yourself, like, all right, if it's not copper, it's really only worth a cent, but if it is copper, it's worth about 2 cents. Wow, what a big difference. Why do you care? I care because I personally believe, I have many reasons to believe, that precious and industrial metals will be on the rise over the next couple of decades, as they've been. A real asset right there. I don't think it's going to be worth 2 cents forever. Currency value, face value attached to it says 1 cent. That will remain a fact. It will continue to be worth 1 cent according to what the face of the coin reads, but the actual melt value, the copper value, the real value of what it's made out of, as the price of copper climbs, so will the price or the value of each 95% copper penny. Yeah, sure, we're told that it's worth a cent right now. Real value is about 2 cents, maybe a little bit more. Over the course of several years or decades to come, each copper penny worth 3, 4, 5, 10 cents maybe. Which may or may not seem worth it to you, but it's worth it to me. Do I think copper is the way to go for the long haul? Absolutely not. Now remember, the initial question was, do I think that we should be buying or stacking copper at this time or in the near future? And I said, buying? No. Stacking? Different story. Like I said, if you can get your hands on free scrap copper or 95% copper pennies, I think it's a really good idea to set them aside. The problem with copper is how cheap it is. Which sounds like a good thing. Oh, it's cheap, it's easy to get your hands on, sure. The problem is, being that it's so cheap, in order to have a substantial amount of real money packed into copper, it's going to take a tremendous amount of copper. You're going to need cinder blocks of copper just for, I don't know, what, $20, $30 worth? You're going to need a whole house built out of copper. Copper takes up a lot of room, or can take up a lot of room. So what I believe the way to go is don't invest time, energy, or anything into focusing on looking for copper. If you stumble upon it for free, grab it. Take it. Absolutely. I don't think we should be spending our currency on copper. Nor do I think we should be spending our time on copper. If you stumble upon it, sure, grab it and set it aside. I don't think it should be our main focus. I don't think it should be our main priority, but set it aside. Let it accumulate over time, and when you get to the point where maybe you have 10, 20, 30, $100 worth of copper, maybe trade it in. Trade that copper for maybe a precious metal if you have that ability, or trade it for currency and take that currency and put it directly into an asset, like potentially a precious metal of some sort, a small little itty bitty piece of gold, or maybe a silver coin, or you can invest that currency. See, if you find copper, just free scrap copper, pipes, copper wire, copper pennies, you can stack those up in the short term and convert it. See, I think copper has that ability for us. Now, copper is a really interesting metal. I'm not even going to go into the whole industrial side of things when it comes to the beautiful red metal, but it's a really interesting metal, and I've made plenty of videos about copper in the past, but I haven't made one recently, so I figured this would be a little bit of an update. But what I would do, or what I would recommend, is don't purchase copper, unless of course you find a round or a bar that you just think is interesting. It carries a high premium, but sometimes, you know, I think it's perfectly acceptable to pay a high premium for something that you like, or something that you think is fun. I don't think there's anything in the world wrong with that. I think dedicating a portion of your income to purchasing blocks of copper is probably a bad idea because of those premiums. But if you find one that you like, no problem. So I don't think putting our currency into copper is the way to go. Nor do I think putting our time into copper is the way to go either. I think our priority should be on other assets. But the copper that you find for free, the copper that you're able to pick up, collect, or stack for free adds up over time, and as time goes by, you have, I don't know, a couple dollars worth of copper. I think then would be a good idea to take those dollars and put them into a real asset, whether it be a precious metal like silver and gold, or whether it be a stock. Friendly reminder, make sure to download Webull, fund your account. They're going to give you 12 free fractional shares just for simply doing so. Refer one friend and they're going to give you and the person that you referred each 20 free bonus stocks. And if you refer 10 friends, click the little invite button, send it to 10 people that you know. They're going to give you $1,200 or $2,500 of free Apple stock. Another asset right there, which you can keep and hold on to, or you can take the cash or you could sell it and take the cash and use it to buy something that you'd rather have instead, whether it be silver, whether it be copper, whether it be gold, or whether it be a different stock or an index fund or whatever you want to do. The link to that will be in the description. But that's what I personally believe is the way to go when it comes to copper. Do I think we should be stacking it? If you can find it for free or for ridiculously cheap, sure. But I don't think we should be stacking it for a crazy amount of time. I think we should kind of take what we can out of it, due to the fact that it just takes up a tremendous amount of space. So if you want to purchase copper, in my opinion, the premiums are way too high. It doesn't make sense. And if you want to stack copper, short term, sure. Then take the currency, the real true value out of copper, and put it into a better asset. Long haul, it'll take up too much space. So those are some of my thoughts. When it comes to copper in late 2023 going into early 2024, that's what my stance is on the beautiful red metal, and I'd love to know your thoughts, so head on down to the comments. Let me know what you think. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for bonus videos. Get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. Try out some G Fuel Energy Formula, $5 off your first order by clicking the link in the description. Over 50 different flavors to choose from. And once again, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you 12 free fractional shares just for doing so. If you refer one friend, they're going to give you and the person that you referred each 20 free bonus stocks. And if you refer 10 friends, they're going to give you either $1,200 or $2,500 of free Apple stock, which you can obviously keep and hold on to, or you can use the cash to buy something that you would rather have instead. We will link in the description. Everything is linked in the description. And once again, I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic when it comes to copper rounds, copper pars, copper pennies. 95% pre-1982 copper pennies. Do you stack copper? Do you think it's a waste of time? Do you think it's a waste of currency? Or are you kind of on the same wavelength as me, where you think it's probably not the best idea to purchase tremendous amounts of it, nor do you think it's a good idea to stack tremendous amounts of free copper for years and years and years on end just because of how much room it takes up? Maybe you're kind of in the middle, where you'll buy it if it's cheap, or you'll buy it if you think it's cool, or you take as much free copper as you can get your hands on, and whenever it's worth a decent amount of currency, you take the currency out of it and put it into what you consider to be a smarter asset. Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic and the beautiful red metal. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.